Good morning, ASEAN. Good morning to all ASEAN youth, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, our president from ASEAN CIO Association. Hongsin is my name, one of the founding member of ASEAN Chief Information Officer Association. I'm responsible for the global relationship alliances, events, and activities. I will be your facilitator for this session. To coin the idea of bringing the youth on live chat, started with our youth counselor from South Zone. That is Mr. Teo Jen Rong. We commonly call him J Ren. Was planning for the upcoming 8th ASEAN CIO Forum Youth Debate session scheduled for September in Vietnam, Hanoi. So he thinks that a session like this to gather the youth opinion actually matters even far before the youth debate. And I supported his idea. So here today with us, he has rallied all the ASEAN nation youth to contribute to this 7 live chat. And it is also the very first time we have the youth into a conversation where we looked into possibly what exactly ASEAN digital future looks like. So for many of you who will actually join this live chat for the very first time, please let me address some of the quick logistics before we get into the full session. So firstly, this is a public live chat. And I'd like to highlight that your name, your photo, your voice could be captured with PDPA, Personal Data Protection Act. We would like to emphasize that ASEAN CIO do not send or sell your contact detail to any third party. So when you register as an attendee, you have granted us the access to reach you through possibly newsletters or any other update. But should you decide not to receive any, you can actually unsubscribe or delete, let us know and we can delete your contact permanently. So secondly, is that when you would like to raise any question, you can either type in on the Zoom group chat, or you can key on the icon and raise a hand. When you raise your hand, meaning to say you like to come online to ask any of the questions. And the host will, let you in to raise a question. Because in the last live chat session, we have audience that say, hey, how can we participate? So now we are, taking note on all this and making sure that people who come onto the live chat can participate. So to kickstart, who is ASEAN Chief Information Officer Association? We are a non-profit organization initiated by a group of passionate CIOs, started out in Thailand, led by our current President, Mr. Thaicharan Atithep, since 2010. So with him, he is supported by a group of counselors, advisors, and of course, his right left hand man, Dr. Haman, and also Dr. Tumen. And basically, what we do is we look into driving ASEAN CIO to support ASEAN digital transformation. So all the personnel in ASEAN CIO Association are volunteers, yet we have very strong alliances across the region, internationally as well. And ASEAN CIO strive to attain a greater living across ASEAN for our people in alignment with ASEAN Digital Master Plan 2025 to step up in terms of also digital literacy and work on inclusion of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Today, this morning, I read a news which is from, I think, Jakarta Post, where Jakarta Ministry has actually choose to promote digital literacy because they are very short of people, and the government believes that by grooming the young, by grooming the people to cater for the digital gap. So, moving forward, And I believe that the rest of the ASEAN countries has also put in their effort to do the same. So ASEAN CIO live chat, digital channel, commit to define requirement and refine intention of keeping in touch to serve our ASEAN youth, as acknowledging that you guys are the future leaders, potential future leaders. So ASEAN CIO Association Youth Chapter is basically being taken care by two young gentlemen. The South Zone is taken care by our moderator, Tio General, or again, Jiren. And the North Zone is handled and served by Mr. Pakani Tamnunji. Sorry, I don't pronounce your last name very properly, for the North Zone. And he is today on the plenary contributor, representing Thailand. So Youth Chapter looks to take action on the following under ASEAN CIO Association: to promote learning, to create impact of ASEAN digitally, generating activity and discuss strategy for greater ASEAN bonding, creating programs for ASEAN greater friendship among the youth, and fostering confidence by teamwork. Youth are not alone, as you can see from the video. Sharing experiences to forge stronger ties, taking on challenges and appreciating cultures, empowering each choice to be future digital leaders. So let me bring on my peer, ASEAN CIO Association Youth Leader, Jaren. I've known him for more than 5 years and have really seen how he have grown. And this young gentleman refused to take the typical route of academy, and he basically do things that are not usually the norm. And, I leave him to tell you more about him. So Jaren, over to you.
Right. Thank you, Ms. Hong Sing. Hi, I'm Jaren, your moderator for today's session on youth opinions for ASEAN Digital Future. So I'm not the highlight today. I'm just moderating the session. So thank Hong Sing and also Mr. President Chachalan for inviting me here to be part of this youth chapter and as well as being involved in ACIOA. All right, so I'll just share my screen. All right, so today we have the 10 panel speakers from all 10 ASEAN countries to share about their opinions of ASEAN digital future. We'd like to have our first panel speaker, Ms. Aimee, to share about herself.
Hi, Darren. Thank you very much. And hi, everybody. Good morning. My name is Aimee Ramlee. I'm from Brunei. I'm co-founder of Tyne Solutions Noon Berhad, which is a bespoke software development firm here in Brunei. And I'm also a co-founder of SoutheastAsiaWomen.org, which is a platform to highlight and showcase female experts from across the region. Thank you for having me, and I look forward to speaking with everyone today.
Thanks, Ms. Aimee. Ms. Chakria, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Chakria. I am from Cambodia. I am a third-year student at Institute of Technology of Cambodia as well. Actually, I am a social volunteer and I also a team member in ASEAN Youth Organization Cambodia. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Agatha.
Thank you so much, Jaren. Hi, everyone. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Agatha Lydia Natania, but you can call me Agatha. I come from Indonesia, and currently I serve as the head of international relations for ASEAN Youth Organization, and I also work for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Vistati.
Thank you, Jaren, and hi, everybody. My name is Visati Pumpanya. I'm from Laos, and currently I'm doing PhD in law and political science at the University of Szeged in Hungary. I also serve as the president of Laos Student Association in Hungary. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Amira.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Amira Alia. I'm from Malaysia. Currently, I'm a front-end developer for company Magenta Berhad. Thank you for having me, and I'm really looking forward for this session, and hopefully we can discuss more in depth about the digital future that involving youth. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Nyet Chu from Myanmar, and I'm co-founder of Grapevine Wine Distributions. And thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Joshua.
Hey everyone, sorry I'm muted. My name is Joshua Gonzalez, and I am the Chief Visionary Officer of ASEAN International. And we are founded on the deep belief in the potential of young people to be able to advance humanity. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Joshua. Mr. Ziwei.
Hi everyone, my name is Sui, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Concordia. We are an open innovation platform that looks to connect youths to large companies, business problems, innovation problems, in order to drive the whole vision of being innovative and digitalizing of companies forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Police Lieutenant Pakani Tanonjis. It's obviously I'm a police officer, but I'm also running a small digital marketing company in Thailand. A specialist in the search engine optimization of the website. So I'm also the youth counselor of the ACIOA. So if you guys have anything that you think I could help, I'll be here very willing to help. Please feel free to contact me. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Huyen.
Hello everyone, this is Huyen. I'm from Vietnam, and currently I am working on the environmental and working for the youth as well at the National Economics University. I am the co-founder of the Hanoi Free Local Tours and the Cultural Event Series. We are creating the platform for the students to connect each other and to share and to learn, and then we bring the great value for the tourists when they enter Vietnam. So thank you very much for having me today.
Thank you, Ms. Huyen. All right, so now you have heard from the panel speakers' introduction of themselves. We'll start off the session by having a short video on the ASEAN 4.0 presented by the World Economic Forum.
East Asia is a very dynamic region, but it faces certain challenges.
The fourth industrial revolution is impacting everything at accelerating speed.
The sheer force is going to bring opportunities as well as huge challenges.
We need the kind of leaders who understand the digital era.
Công nghệ cao và nền kinh tế số mới là những lĩnh vực đầy tiềm năng của ASEAN.
Chúng ta tập trung thảo luận những ý tưởng, sáng kiến nhằm thúc đẩy hợp tác giữa các nước ASEAN thực sự trở thành trung tâm khởi nghiệp đổi mới sáng tạo, chủ động kiến tạo, làm chủ.
ASEAN is a region of 650 million people. More than half of them are under the age of 30. So the number of people entering the workforce is increasing by 11,000 every day.
This will create an opportunity, but that opportunity can only happen when the policy response is going to be positive.
Most of the time, efforts are being focused on the infrastructure, the hardware, the access to technical training. But at the end of the day, it's the mindset of how we are educating our young people.
Critical thinking, creativity, communication, and collaboration skills. We're going to need that in order to bring about what's uniquely human about us relative to AI, machines, as we coexist together in the future.
As our economies develop, they are driven increasingly by human talent.
The most important is to create an entrepreneurial society, a society which is open for change.
Many problems in this region are radical. It is clear that human rights is on the decline. So in order to bring about real change, you need people of the new generation.
Because the world is changing so quickly, people are becoming more open to that idea of young entrepreneurs really changing the landscape.
See Founders is a volunteer activity that we do to actually create a mentorship ecosystem among startup founders.
New technologies and free trade. It allows poverty to be reduced, jobs to be created, income gaps to be closed.
The opportunity, however, will only come into being if we are really conscious about who it is that is left behind.
We are doing a training program, and we hope women have more awareness that through technologies can empower you beyond the barriers of gender bias.
This fourth industrial revolution will change the world. Let's make sure it also changes ASEAN, and ASEAN changes it.
Nothing is more hopeful than youth. Let them be the solution solver for issues that we have not yet been able to overcome.
All right, so you may or may not be able to see the full video or hear it clearly. However, I'd just like to highlight a few pointers. As mentioned in the video, the youth make up about 50% of the ASEAN population, and every day is expected to be estimated about 11,000 youth entering the workforce, right? So youth are defined as 15 to 35 years old in ASEAN. Okay, so we'll just start off the panel by asking the panelists a few questions. So the first question would be, do you care about the digital transformation for your future? We'll have Ms. Aimee to start off.
Thank you, Jaren. So yes, of course, I definitely care about digital transformation for two reasons. One, I don't think it's avoidable. I think it's going to happen regardless whether we do something about it or not. But secondly, I feel that it is the most powerful tool that we have to democratize economic access, education, and knowledge as well. And so I think that being involved and having a proactive role in how it shapes our future is absolutely necessary, especially as youth in Southeast Asia. So I care a lot, and I'm hopefully involved in it through my company as well. So yeah, definitely an important part of our future.
Thank you, Ms. Aimee.
Sorry, Jaren.
Yes.
Okay, we probably have a little bit of technical glitch. Maybe you can ask the question, show the question, and then we have to stop the screen sharing because we would like to focus on the youth on the screen.
Okay, sure,
Yeah.
sure. I'll ask the question.
Interruption.
Right. Okay. All right. So on to you, Ms. Chakria.
Yes, thank you for this question. Yes, as a university student, sure, I do really care about it. Actually, for me, digital transformation is a key to create the new thing about by using technology. So I strongly believe that technology can change the way that people live in the future to be more productive and to be more convenient. Like the way that we work, we study, the way that we do business will not the same. So it is very essential for me to care about it in order to prepare myself to live in the new digital revolution and to learn about it as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chakria. Ms. Agatha.
Thank you so much, Jaren. I also agree with the previous speakers. I believe that digital transformation will be part of our lives no matter what, because of the globalization that has already been going on. So because of this digital transformation, it's gonna make our life more interconnected with a lot of aspects in our life. So I really care, and I try to integrate it in my work, and also I will be more sharing about this more in the next session. But as this is going to be interconnected, we can use this to maximize our engagement and our connection also with more people. Because of this digital transformation, those things who cannot be done previously, we can use it to be to create more progress in our life, be it in economy and social and a lot of like aspects in our life. Thanks, Jaren.
Thank you, Ms. Agatha. Mr. Visati.
All right. Well, the answer for this question is a big yes from me. You know, I really do care about the digital transformation. As we all might know that, today every aspect of our society, is being invaded and transformed by the digital technologies bit by bit. So as a young person, for me, I have always, developed core skills that would allow me to move like fluidly between the cutting edge innovation like digital analytics, artificial intelligence, and mobile health technologies in order to explore the ways, to use this innovative technology to address the issues facing by my countries. As a PhD student, now I'm researching on mHealth. I have seen that, this digital transformation would bring a lot of benefits for our countries. In the healthcare sectors, I have seen that, the digital transformation or the digital technology will play a significant role in order to improve the healthcare system for ASEAN or also for Laos, and also to improve the better healthcare for citizens in the next future. But however, recently in our country, the developing or the deployment of digital technologies in healthcare sectors are still facing with a lot of barriers, and we need to address. And I do hope that if we empower the youth to take part in this process, I'm sure that in the near future we can address these healthcare issues by the use of digital technology.
Thank you, Mr. Visati. Ms. Amira?
So do I care about digital transformation? Definitely, very much, because personally for me, for being an active member in the tech industry myself, there is really no excuse for me to resist such transformation. Because when we're talking about transformation, we are talking about change, and I believe change is good. And if by changing, meaning we are leveraging tech to our benefit to make our life easier, then I am all for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Amira. Ms. Miet?
Sorry, I also care about the digital transformations for my futures, right? Especially when COVID-19 come to the war, So our country, our company started sales channels like online gourmet grocery platform. And then it's called like centralized. So we sales all of like our import stuff from the online. So it's quite very well than we expect. So yeah, with this experience, I believe that the digital transformation is important for everyone, and yeah, for me too. So yeah, I do care about the digital transformation for our futures. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Miet. Mr. Joshua?
Yeah. Yes, definitely I do care about the upcoming digital transformation here in ASEAN. And for the reason that it is one of the opportunities for us developing countries to be able to leapfrog technologies that would allow us, number one, to avoid growing pains of the Western nation. Number two, we can start becoming a society of innovators versus late adopters. And lastly, because of us being innovators, we have an opportunity to be able to create a future according to how young people perceive the right future would be. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Joshua. Mr. Tzu.
Yeah, so I think definitely. I think, in fact, this whole COVID-19 pandemic is really showing to all of us that we do have to care about digital transformation in our country and, of course, our future. I think this COVID-19 pandemic, when it hit, what really happened was that the future kind of became our present, because we really needed things to be online. We needed to reduce human physical touch as much as possible. And this need became very urgent. So what happened was that the solutions to these needs were really sought after by, of course, all these different countries. And for example, giving a more localized example in Singapore, Of course, Singapore, without the natural resources as a country, we heavily depend on imports. And when this whole pandemic actually hit, it was a real wake-up call into a rush into digital transformation in our whole field of agriculture. As much as we say we are a garden city, the fact is that we only produce less than 10% of the nation's demand for food. So what happens is that we've actually set a goal to provide 30% of our nation's food demand by 2030. And knowing that we have less than 10% right now being developed, we need to jump about 20+% in the next 10 years. And the fact is that without digital transformation, I don't think this is, I mean, with digital transformation, this will then be possible. Yeah.
Thank you. I could have Mr. Play.
As I am working as a public servant and being the website SEO developer, I could not avoid to learn how digital transformation could affect our life in the future. In the view of the business marketing, in my opinion, this could be a chance for the SME or other small business to share the market revenue from the big company, the monopoly company, as there are a lot of content distribution channels which are available and suitable for the SME. The Facebook, YouTube, or even our own website, our search engine optimization, we could reach the potential customer a lot easier than before. So, and we could freely customize our marketing strategy with many options that were offered by the media company. So I think this is a chance. If we motivate people, and they could adjust their skill to fit with the digital market demand. So I think the small business could grow together in the future. But in the crime prevention section, I think there is more concern in the view of a policeman. The criminal organization has been improving themselves a lot quicker than the governmental organization because they have a better motivation making money from the digitalization. I think our governmental organization got to move faster, and this time we need the real cooperation internationally, because the criminal organization they can work from the country to country easily. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Play. Ms. Hu Yan.
Hello, of course, I do care much about the digital transformation, not only for my work, but also for my study. And as I introduced before, I work for the youth, and the most way that I connect with other youth is by phone and laptop and kind of social network. So that's why we need to learn about the digital transformation, learn about the technology, and learn about the communication websites, so that we can connect with others. So I also want to take examples of Vietnam when we against the COVID-19, not only in the Delta, but also in the remote area. We do care a lot about the digital, about the technology. And from then on, we can transfer the idea, we can communicate with others together against the COVID-19. Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Hu Yan. Wow, that's great. So you heard about most of, in fact, all of the youth are concerned about the digital transformation of their future. So let's say the next question would be, do you believe youth can change the landscape of digital future? Miss Aimee, you would start off?
Yes, I do. I think youth are not only capable but instrumental in changing the digital landscape of the future. If you see the different, centers of innovation around the world, they're predominantly run or at least driven by young people or younger people. And I think younger people are not only more interested, I think, in a way, in innovation and changing the way we do things, but also it's in our interest. We're going to have to live with it for much longer than people before us, and so a lot of young people are more invested in wanting to take a central role in how that's shaped in their future. And I think the creativity and ideas of the young people, especially in Southeast Asia, are really coming to the forefront. So we're seeing it already. I think that's going to continue to happen. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how young people in our region especially are going to proactively shape our digital future.
Thank you, Ms. Aimee.
Yes. So
Yes,
for
Ms.
me, as a youth, I strongly believe that youth forces can change the landscape in the future. Actually, youth are considered as the main human resource in our society. We are young, but we have big potential and creative, innovative, and challenging all the time. They also have many opportunities than the other people, as well as having multiple skills, especially technology skills, hundred and or thousand of new ideas. So that's why I am sure that youth can lead and can change our world, can change the landscape of the digital in the future. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shakira. Ms. Agatha?
Thank you so much, Darren. So I believe the answer would be yes, of course. And the reasons are because the young people, we can adapt and we can improvise easily. Because of those adaptive and improvise trait, we can make a lot of innovation and also creativity. For instance, Jaren is also one of my colleagues in ASEAN Youth Organization, but he focuses on ASEAN Youth social enterprise, and then he's one of the person who make that change. In AYO we recognize that the power of young people as the machine of the digital transformation. So together with AYO and IOSE, we started discussions and then trainings, events to prepare the young people in ASEAN region to prepare for this opportunity. Also in Indonesia, in this case, Indonesia's business in digital world is growing and evolving, not only because of the COVID-19 that we are forced to use a lot of digital technology, but in terms of digital economy, actually Indonesia now is the largest in Asia, and all of the startups that is like growing now is mostly own or are from ideas from the youth. So we would like to see more example of the power of these young people in the Southeast Asia region, of course.
Thank you, Ms. Agatha. All right, Mr. Visati.
Right, thank you for the question. Yes, definitely. I highly believe that youth has a potential to change the landscape of digital in the near future. If we're looking at the recent statistic reported by the International Telecommunication Union, it showed that the young people aged between 15 to 24 represent almost 1/4 of the total numbers of individuals using the internet worldwide, and almost 71% of those were online. So if these young people are equipped with digital skills, in particular advanced digital skills, and provide them with an entrepreneurship opportunity, they will potentially contribute to the digital transformation, and also they will contribute to the national developments, especially to the sustainable economic growth. That because the youth are early adopters of ICT-based technologies, at the same time they are the ultimate driving force from moving commitments to results. Therefore, we need to engage and enable youth to participate in digital transformation process, especially in decision making and policy dialogues, to achieve this meaningful, youth engagement in digital transformation. The government, foundation, private sectors, and other related stakeholders should actively invest in youth. Besides, we need to encourage and inspire our young people in the use of digital technologies and educate them, how this method help us to solve the problem facing by our society. So we should help young people to make the most online work platform, provide digital skills training to make young people employable across sectors, and help young people gain skills that employer needs. So that is what I would like to share with our college. So I do believe that the young people, especially the youth, has a potential to change the digital landscape in ASEAN countries.
Thank you, Mr. Vasati. Ms. Amira.
Yes, totally. And we are already changing how we do things these days. And communicating on social media has becoming a norm. In fact, it's so hard to run into 20-something with no social media account. So youth arguably has the larger online presence than any other age group. And to put it simply, this is like our territory. And after all, youth will be the next future leaders of policymakers, etc. And hence why I believe if someone's going to disrupt the landscape of digital future, it's the youth. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Amira. Could we have Ms. Miet to...
Yes, I believe that youth can change, we can change the landscape of the digital futures, because youth are willing to learn, willing to take a risk, and they want to be like doing difference. Like, especially, like for example, compare with the family business. I worked last 3 years ago. I worked for a family business. I have to do very adventurous things I want to do because of the, like a Taylor Swift songs. They have only the young can run. So like we have strong energy. We love to change. We love to do everything, what we see and what we don't see. So yeah, of course, I believe in also in digital futures that most of the technicians and like a lot of people are leading in every country are the youth. So I believe that you can change everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Miet.
Yeah.
Mr. Joshua. Yeah.
Yes. We, as young people, we are able to imagine and conceive of an idea that could actually change the world. We can see how the future should be and not what it currently is. Therefore, young people currently are slowly working towards mastery of these technologies, and therefore we are trying to upskill. We are trying to learn the tools that would shape the future. Number two, I believe that one of the most important trait of young people at the moment is their spirit of collaboration. If we really truly want to create or change the landscape, young people, which is already available through digital transformation. Like before, like me from the Philippines, I wouldn't be able to get to know Jared and the other people from ASEAN just by mail. Because of digital transformation, we are able to communicate, we are able to collaborate, and we are able to educate. And lastly, with collaboration, we have mastery of the tools. The young people right now, the upcoming generation, they say is the generation with the most empathy. Empathy which caters to all types of people, that young people will develop technology, will create disruptions, not just for financial gain, but actually to advance humanity and provide the world with a better future, because young people can feel how other people are feeling, and how we are able to perceive the people around us and be able to take care of the people around us. That is the way we advance technology towards catering to those. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Joshua. So just a fun fact. Joshua and I met last year in February when we received an invitation to attend and to speak at his ASEAN Youth Engagement Summit in Philippines. So that was a really great opportunity, you know, to see many fellow Filipino friends as well as other ASEAN countries coming together to engage and to brainstorm for, you know, solutions to solve problems in ASEAN. Thank you, Joshua.
Thank you.
Right. So I mean, I think definitely youths are really the future innovators as well as the future workforce of the country. So this is what really got me started on my open innovation platform, because as Mr. Play mentioned, that governmental bodies are really slow to react, or even those bigger corporations, what happens is that there's a lot of red tape. And as a result, they are unable to kind of adapt to what is coming in terms of our digital future. So what I really look to do, or what I envision, is to actually engage this student community with these MNCs, large corporation innovation ideas, even governmental body innovation problems, such that the youth are able to contribute their ideas and able to collaborate together to form solutions to meet the needs of these problems. And just like our first speaker, Miss Amy, what she has mentioned is that we are the ones who have to live with our future. So, you know, if it's not us to do it, I mean, who else could do it, right? So, which is why we are really more motivated to act on innovating our future and making it better for ourselves and, of course, everyone else. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Zhiwei. Yep, that's true. So as youth, I think we have at least 40 to 50 years old more to go, right? And we'll be the future leaders of tomorrow. Yeah. Thank you, Zhiwei. Mr. Play?
In my opinion, I never believed that the adult is more capable than the youth. Yeah. I always believe that age is not the condition of achieving any success. Especially in the present world, that every person could access to the any information. We could learn how to fix any specific problem. We could build our own company from just learning from the internet. We could do anything. The age is not the condition. And I think with a lot of digital tools at present, the credibility of being adult is less important than the past. So people nowadays do not care much about how old are you, or how much did you achieve before. Yeah, but with your offer solution, I think is more value than the past. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Play. Ms. Huyen?
Hello. I think most of you already talked about the advantage of the youth, that they can really change the landscape of digital future. So I just want to add some ideas that I think that the youth have more opportunity than the older, because they have more opportunities in education, and they have a chance to approach the education and the technology better than the older generation. And also, because the younger they are, the more enthusiastic and the more willing to take the risk. So that's why they can really contribute the idea. They can really jump into the new thing, think out of the box to contribute to the landscape of digital transformation.
All right, thank you, Ms. Huyen. Good. So it's well, youth have the ability to change the landscape of our digital future. So now, how should youth be involved, Ms. Aimee?
I think we have many ways of being involved. So I think everyone's touched on some of the different ways we can do that. One, either starting your own venture or your own solution to an existing regional problem. Secondly, being involved. Thirdly is some have mentioned our existence on the digital space and social media. We are I guess, the biggest residence, biggest number of people online right now. And so whether it is by using our own skills to create solutions using technology, educate others in how to use technology to create solutions, but also, as we can see now with a lot of the movements that are happening around the world, whether it is informing people about COVID-19, the Black Lives Matter movement that's happening across the world stemming from America, the digital space is where a lot of really impactful messaging that can be made. And so that's how some young people are capitalizing on the tools and technology that are available to really push through changes that will affect their future. So those are just some of the things that are high profile. But as you'll probably see from all the speakers here, everyone's doing something that is extremely impactful within their own communities using technology in one way or another, whether it is by creating the tool itself, whether it's an application or a website or a platform or a service, or even just using social media to really highlight the work that they're doing. So I think we have a lot of ways to do that and get involved. And I would really encourage a lot of young people to expand the repertoire of what they can use technology for, because that really empowers them to take an active role.
Thank you, Ms. Saimi. All right, Ms. Chakra. Sorry, you are muted. You have to unmute yourself.
Yes, yes. So for me, as a youth, I think that the way that youth can involve in digital transformation is that first they have to find the importance of digital transformation, and then they have to expand their knowledge. Try to put themselves like involved in some activity, especially have to concentrate on technology, and especially one more thing, they have to do more research about it. I encourage the youth to do more research and try to put themselves in to the group of people that they are working on digital.
All right. So thanks, Ms. Chakra. Ms. Agatha?
Okay. So it's very nice and interesting opinions from the other young people here. I really appreciate it. And I also agree that we, the young people, we have the energy, we have this burning spirit of, making changes in our own community and also in a larger area, right? So because of this creativity and unlimited ideas, now it is our homework to turn those ideas into reality. And how? Well, because we are living in this interconnected world, we have to, of course, go for the collaboration. So with collaborating with more platform that already established, we can learn from their lessons. So we can have more collaboration, and then through also education, the young people can have like more information and then more source to make those ideas into reality, by using platform like social media and also other digital platform. Also, sorry. This is better?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, it's better. Great.
Sorry, I was like on landscape. So yeah, by using the social media or the other existing platform, or maybe we can make our own platform, digital platform. The young people can have more opportunity to make those ideas into reality. If I may share, last year, me and a couple of friends, we started to make a new digital platform in healthcare, focusing in healthcare. So our goal is to make how to use these digital platforms become easier for young people to talk about their health issues. So but just by using social media and the existing digital platform, we can make this happen. Imagine what we can do if we have like those other opportunities by creating those ideas through digital platforms.
Yeah, totally, Agatha. I think collaboration, as mentioned earlier on, would also be a very key, vital role in terms of bridging the youth to enable digital transformation. So, look forward, we can also have AYO with ACIOA and then with IS and all the other organizations there focusing on youth development in Southeast Asia to work closely together and enable digital transformation.
Great idea. Love to see that. Thanks, Jaren.
Thanks, Agatha. Mr. Visati?
All right, I agree with the previous speakers, and I totally agree that youth should be involved in this digital transformation. Why? Because as a young people, as a youth, we have more potential and we have more talent, to be honest, than other age group. And as a youth, we have more opportunities, to explore the world than other age group. You remember, Jaren, we met each other in Bucharest, Romania last year.
Yes.
So see, that is the stage for us to exchange knowledge, to exchange knowledge and to share the experiences on, in each countries. And that recently, as you might know, that in the, like the opportunities everywhere around. So the youth, we can, reap the opportunity from at any time. For example, to participate in the conference or youth event around the world, and this will create opportunity for us to bring back the the lessons or the knowledge on the digital technology to improve the digital in our country.
Thank you, Mr. Visati. Yes, it was really a great time. We actually met each other on a program by Asia Europe Foundation. And that's a couple of days we're together. We had lots of fun, even interacting with other fellow ASEAN member states. I would like to just share a quick photo since you mentioned about this. Yeah, so you can see here, we are all actually doing the ASEAN handshake, and our fellow European youth as well learn about the ASEAN handshake, and we are all hand in hand together, working closely together to resolve the problem across the world, in particular Asia and Europe. Yeah. Awesome. So thank you, Mr. Visati.
All right. So for myself, I think why should youth be involved in digital transformation is I think many young people will have a hard time to reminisce back to a time when there was no internet. Okay, so with that said, and I hope I'm not generalizing this statement, just putting it out there as my opinion, youth has the ability to adapt well with the ever-changing technology, and that is mainly because we grew up with it. And youth are arguably among the best in exhibiting great willingness to adopt technology into our life. So, and as a natural user, youth can bridge the gap between other age groups so that there will be sense of inclusivity. Okay, so making sure that technology is in fact for everyone and not only restricted to just you. Yeah.
Thank you. Definitely, right? Technology actually benefit all of us here, in ASEAN across the world. And this COVID-19, we totally see the benefit of it, right? So life can still, go on. Might not be perfect, but at least we can still operate. We can still work from home and look at companies like Google, AIA, even etc. They are even helping their employees to, get equipped with this technology solution. Giving $1,000 to buy the equipment required for them to work at home. And a couple of companies as well, MNCs, allow them to work from home till end of the year. So that's awesome. All right, thank you, Miss Amira. Miss Miet?
Yes. For me, of course, you should be involved because, as I mentioned earlier, that they can lead the landscape of the futures, and even like we can change the world. So that's what I believe. So why not? Why not? You can't be involved, right? So yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Miss Miet. All right.
Yes. Aside from what we call upskills, or like computer literacy, aside from post-COVID skills like project management, which are all part of growing development in the digital transformation era. I would also want to add to our viewers out there that they also have to focus on self-awareness, right? In order for us to grow as leaders, as young leaders, we got to be more self-aware and correct our biases. We need to verify our beliefs for us to make sure that we're actually trekking into a territory that we're confident about ourselves. Number two, what we have to do is we have to grow our emotional intelligence, right? Everything is about digitalization, but at the same time, at the back end, digital transformation is for us to be able to help humans. And for us to be able to relate to human beings just like us, we got to be more intelligent in terms of our emotions. And lastly, we have to be more resilient as young people. Some people are just coming out of college, wanting to get a job right out of the gate, but unfortunately, COVID happened. A lot of things will happen in the future. In an ever-changing world that could change in the blink of an eye, young people should be able to be more resilient, to be more adaptable to the change. And what I want young people to understand is that through knowing ourselves more and being more resilient, it's how we could inspire other people around us to be just the same, to be able for them to think that, hey, I could become the next future leader. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Joshua. Totally right, because then we have platforms like this where youth come together from all different culture, background, countries, coming together to just share and learn from one another. So thank you so much, Mr. Joshua. Mr. Tzu-wei.
Right. So I think the thing about youths is that we have a lot of ideas, but the problem or the limitation here is that we may not necessarily have the resources, which is why a platform like this or like any sort of collaboration platform is great for us to actually, come together, collaborate and get our ideas together. Because one myth I would like to address is that everyone thinks, in terms of a genius, it's one guy or one girl who comes up with this great idea. But the fact is that changes come about through an additive process. So it's always, there is a trailblazer, someone who starts it at first, but it is always the collaborative effort of everyone. And in fact, when people come together and they have different backgrounds, they see problems differently. And I think that is the real value, because when you see problems differently, the way you tackle these problems it comes from an all-rounded effort, a very holistic way of addressing the problem. Like the speaker before me, Joshua, has mentioned, talking about digitalization, so much about robotics and AI and all that. But what about the human element? That is something that we also need to consider, and which is why the youth definitely have to be involved in terms of the conversation moving forward, because we are able to see, okay, what is the effect of technology on the ground, because we are the ones who are the most in contact with it. For example, the use of social media itself, how does it affect the youth in terms of self-image and so on and so forth, right? So really, it's all about coming together as a collaborative effort. I think that makes a lot more sense in terms of moving forward for the future.
Yes, totally, Tzu-wei, because the youth also play an important role to help the whole community to get online and to embrace the digitalization of it. Because in Singapore, we have digital ambassadors that are now being hired by through the government efforts to get digital ambassadors, mostly are young people, to help the elderly get online during this COVID-19 period.
Yep.
Thank you, Tzu-wei.
Hi. From my view, I cannot see any reason why you should not be involved in the digital transformation. when we passed 20 in Thailand, we had a full rights as equal to the adult on deciding on anything, to decide by ourselves on any legal binding. So yeah, we are equal as an adult, and as we have more time left in the future of for us to making change, so it is better to invest in the youth than adult, in my opinion. That's why youth absolutely should involve in any transformation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Play. Yeah, Ms. Huyen.
And in my opinion, I think that the most important reason why should youth be involved in the digital transformation is because youth is the future leader. So that's why we need youth to be very competitive. Like they need to update and they need to get involved in the digital transformation so that they can make the future for our world. So that's my idea.
Thank you, Huyen. Great. So all of this, opinions and sharing from the different youth from our different ASEAN countries, on how they can be involved. And now we want to know, as audience here, fellow youth, how could you be involved as well? What are some of the programs, right? So, fellow panelists, could you share a little bit about, the kind of country youth programs you have in your own respective country?
Definitely for Brunei, we have a lot of youth programs happening across different industries. So it really depends on what sector that you're interested in. So there are lots of volunteer programs, and I think the best place to start would be to communicate with the Ministry of Youth, Culture and Sport here in Brunei. They have a long list of organizations that you could be involved in. In terms of tech, there's a lot of programs that you can find out more about from going to places like the ASEAN Center in Brunei. As for us, we're always trying to promote remote working through our team here at Tyne Solutions. So that's something that I hope people will be interested in doing as well. And of course, there are things like YSEALI and other regional organizations or regional programs that are being run by organizations like the U.S. Mission to ASEAN and other embassies around the region as well. So I would say get started with Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport in Brunei and talk. There are a lot of people who are very willing to share information as well.
Hey, thanks, Ms. Aimee.
Yes. So for in Cambodia, there are many youth programs, as I know, especially those programs encourage youth to join as well. So in Cambodia, we have the competition, we have challenging that related to STEM and industry 4.0, such as techno innovation. We have Cam Robot, we call Robotic Cambodia. Also, the volunteer program that focus on SDG number 4, education, like Teach for Cambodia. As I know, this program it is running right now, and it's focused on youth and to develop their teaching skill and to provide them training skill to improve their soft skill as well. So there are still have many other youth program that you can choose. So that's all.
Thanks, Ms. Chakra. Ms. Agata?
Okay. Is my screen okay? So I thought I hope it's not tilted again. Okay.
Yes, we can see you.
Okay.
Great.
So same for Indonesia. If you want to know more for opportunities for young people, it's gonna be in the website of the Ministry of Youth and Sport, or also in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We sometimes conducted like a lot of events collaborating with other external parties for the young people. However, please allow me, Jaren, I would like to take this opportunity also to invite all of you, the young people in ASEAN, to join as volunteers, or if you want to check our events and programs in ASEAN Youth Organization. You can check on ASEANYouth.net. We are a youth-led organization in Southeast Asia, and this is what we do. We provide informations, we provide opportunities for young people to connect each other other from ASEAN member states to have collaborative projects or even just discussion, ideas. We also have ASEAN Youth Ambassador Program. So it's a lot of events, a lot of collaboration for any of you, both individually and also for your community or even your corporations, anything, because we want to make our goal is to make these young people have more development, not only in educational sector, but also in digital transformation, as we discussed today. Right, Jaren?
Thank you, Ms. Agatha. That's awesome. Having been part of the ASEAN Youth Conference that was held annually, I think that's a very good starting point for youth. Definitely for ACIOA on our part, we have a youth debate, during our annual forum, and look forward to have more youth involved. I will share a little bit more on the youth initiatives and how can we all come together collaboratively and to have a better digital future for ASEAN.
Yes.
Thanks, Ms. Agatha.
Okay,
Mr.
thanks, Jaren.
Visati. Mr. Visati.
All right. So actually in Laos, we have many youth programs. So as you know, Jaren, so in Laos, we have the Youth Union, which have like more than 200 registered. And in every province, at the central level or province level or district level, we have the youth organization. And we have like several youth program that the youth member can involve and can contribute. But however, yesterday, after the rehearsal session, so I have a chance to check with my colleague, who is my junior, and who used to participate the Sunburst Youth Camp in Singapore with me in 2010. And he just graduated from Australia, and he just launched the youth program in 2019. It's called like Siang Miang. It's the first community of change maker through the technology for youth in Laos. And this program is aimed at inspiring the next generation into the world of innovation, computation, thinking, problem solver mindsets, and equipped them with the knowledge and technology tools. And recently, this project, this community, they have they are launching 3 main projects, like the youth emerging technology entrepreneurship boot camps, online learning examination platform for grade 12 students in English and STEM subjects, and technological platform for farmers. So for example, the youth exchange technology entrepreneurship boot camp. The purpose of this project is to educate the high school students in the basic of some emerging technologies, supervise them to solve and create their own innovation, and to inspire them to become the next Lao innovators in the futures. So I have seen that, I see that, this project is very, is an initiative project, to encourage the youth, to see the importance of the technology. And, if you have a chance, I will invite this guy to share the experience with you, because he's very young and energetic youth. And he just 24 years old, and he launched this important project in Laos.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Visati. Definitely looking forward, when I go over to Laos, like to meet up with you, catch up with you in person.
I will invite him to join. Actually, he's told me to meet him, tomorrow. So I will share with him. I will talk with him more about his project, because he just gave me the information last night.
Awesome. That's great. That's good. Looking forward. All right. Thanks, Mr. Visati. Miss Amira.
All right. So, okay, in Malaysia, we have this fair. I call it fair. It's #MyDigitalMaker. It was introduced by MDEC back in 2016. And MDEC, for introduction, MDEC is a Multimedia Development Corporation, which was initiated by Malaysia's government to manage our multimedia super corridor, which was introduced to promote the nation's ICT industry. So this My Digital Maker Fair is actually a fair that exposes youth to digital creativity and innovation. And there were many activities catered for youth to show them how their interests can be relevant to the jobs of the future. There were workshops, exhibitions, and also has featured variety of competitions. And one particularly popular event was the Hour of Code. I think you guys heard of it. Hour of Code is a global movement involving millions of students from more than 180 countries, last time I checked. And this competition is organized to introduce the field of coding, and anyone can take part in it. So, and the best part is there's no prior knowledge in coding is required. So, yeah, it's cool. My
It's
digital
great.
maker. Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, I think that gives more opportunities for young people, and as
Yeah.
well as all fellow citizens of ASEAN to come together to learn without any prior knowledge, because I think that is also pose a barrier to people who want to learn about technology.
True. Exactly.
Thank you, Miss Amira. Miss Miet.
Yeah, we have our country have a youth program as well, and then also they have like at the Facebook page they have youth development program, and you can find it. The program is with they do like YDP, MMA, and UNFPA. So it's they are very like a lot of volunteers. So as we go to the digital things, we have any program of there's one particular that I note is that telecom companies. It's called like the company is called Telenor company, and they have a free digital training. It's 100,000 youth for like Myanmar like free digital training. So their program is that every youth in Myanmar deserve equally to get the opportunity to build digital foundations of their life in preparation to their critical roles in the future, economic as socio-economics developments of the country. The second one is the empowering Myanmar youth for the digital summer school problem is their essential the computer skills and how to stay safe online. And another company have a technical entrepreneurship. They call like technopreneurship development program. It's like competitions, the competition program. So a lot of you people attach the competitions from Myanmar. So like there is a lot within those a lot of the programs that I just want to tell those the digital program because of in Myanmar, mostly in Myanmar is a lot of peoples are just using they just know that using like Facebook, Instagram, just social medias because it's easy to yes like also me as well. So we don't know any like building like what for ourselves the digital things we don't really understand about, especially I think women's, right? So we just love to touch the phone screen and like shopping and everything. But after I make our own like what grocery online sales channels, so I didn't know that I can build myself by like websites and everything. So in this training, there is like women's or men's or like young people. So mostly they target to young people. So this is very, very good, the program. So maybe like in also from other country, they have, I heard that, I read their, also their page and they write that any volunteer for that program, especially the digital things. So they have a lot of they are calling a lot of volunteer also. So I would like to invite for any other like country from like to volunteers in Myanmar also very warmly welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Miet.
Yes. So our team, IS International, what we do for young people all across the Philippines and sooner or later coming from people from ASEAN and Asia is that when we say youth programs or that talks about digitalization, there's a lot of programs depending on your interest. So I would not talk about certain programs, but what I want to talk about is if you guys want to learn a lot of opportunities, our organization's Facebook page is facebook.com/IS International. So what we're trying to develop, so before COVID happened, we try to collate all the types of opportunities from internship, leadership programs, scholarships, conferences, seminars abroad, or nationwide. And we try to cascade it to a lot of young people because what they understand is there's a bit of inefficiency in information travel. So basically, young people do not know where to go to find opportunities in terms of growth, networking. So if you check out our page, before COVID, we were trying to post a lot of events, and even the AYC of IO, we posted it also. So we are encouraging a lot of organizations that in times of this, in times of no travel, let us collaborate towards a lot more online. So we could cascade more information. We get a lot of what do you call this, important knowledge specific to specific situations all across our community. So check out our page. And at the same time, we are developing the IS Youth Leadership Program, international program, wherein we will provide you 52 weeks of holistic learning. At the same time, we are providing a lot of self-assessment for young people to know what areas in their life, what areas in their growth that they want to focus on that needs development. And lastly, I wanted to let you guys know that we are very open for a lot of opportunities, collaborations, and partnerships. So if you guys are developing your own program, if you guys have different important information, we would love to hear it, and we would love to share it, collaborate all young people across the nation and across ASEAN, so we could work together and collaborate on solutions. At the same time, we have to be able to also provide opportunities for young people to build meaningful relationships online. I think it's about time that a lot of programs will also focus on learning how to translate offline environment into something online. And we're trying to innovate and pioneer something like this with a lot of organizations across ASEAN. So if you guys want to collaborate and want to join in this information dissemination spread, let us know. It's facebook.com/official IS or /IS International. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joshua. Yes, I believe so. The new normal for post COVID-19 would definitely require everyone to actually move online and get exposed to this whole digital sphere. Right, Mr. Tsuwei.
Right. So in Singapore, we do support a lot of youth programs. I think one example is we have this Asia Ready Exposure Program, which is where we support Singaporean students' visits to cities in the ASEAN region. But of course, right now, due to COVID, travel has become a luxury. And which is where I really think, my platform Concordia as an open innovation platform, it really fits this need in terms of getting the youths to boost their exposure to companies worldwide. Basically, talking about upskilling themselves, getting exposed to these company problem, be it like a hackathon or an innovation challenge. This is where the youths can really come up and collaborate, and in terms of upskilling themselves, really do something and make a change in terms of the society. So there's an urge to really understand the importance of learning new skills and exploring of new opportunities, where we can equip the youth with the Singaporean youth with cross-cultural skills and understand the region and real corporate experience better. So if there's people who are interested in terms of launching a challenge or launching a hackathon to the Singaporean youth who are studying in the institutes of higher learning, that is, I'm someone you can reach out to. Because we engage these students and youth for innovation. Yeah.
Thank you, Tsuwei. Right, Mr. Play.
Hi. The Act of Children and Youth, which is laid 3 years ago in Thailand, established the youth councils for every district in Thailand, which will allow 8,700 councils on the purpose of taking closely care of Thai youth and children. One of the organization goals, according to the Act, is to make children and youth knowing better about the technology and could make the benefit out of the current technology, including improve the youth skill as to be fit with the future digital era. So as Thailand has had a quite big area country, this councils is built to make a customized project for the each district in Thailand. I think this is a very good start for Thai preparing for the digital era. But as I mentioned before, the governmental organization is moving too slow in the present. They launched a lot of abstract plan, but so far I haven't seen any project that have a potential to achieving the goal. But I think they are working on it, and if I have a chance, I'll be willing to help too. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Play. Ms. Huyen.
So I want to introduce the 2030 Youth Force Vietnam, and that is the network led by the young people in Vietnamese that promotes the implementation of 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And this also got the support by so many NGO and the UNDP in Vietnam. And I have to recognize that in Vietnam, we have a great combination between the government and the private sector in creating the platform for the youth, not only in the government, for example, in the local area. Each village and communes in Vietnam have a group of youth people that they promote and they serve. They're responsible for any kinds of activities happening in that village. And in the private sector, the business and the enterprises also group together some clubs and some teams, some like clubs and organization for the youth to learn about their business model, to learn about their processing model. So that's why the youth in Vietnam have a lot of opportunity to learn about the digital transformation, learn about the skills, and learn a lot of things.
All right. Thank you, Huyen.
Yeah.
So then you have heard from the panel sharing about the different programs you can be part of as youth in ASEAN. Now we'd like to have the audience to be part of the Q&A session to ask questions that they have in mind. And I believe we have the first question from our president. He shared about the question of how could youth be involved in the digitalization at the national level? Any opportunities for them to do so? Anyone would like to take this question? A national level opportunity for youth to be involved for digitalization.
Yeah, hello. I think I can answer for in terms of my Singaporean experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think one of the ways that as Play has mentioned earlier, what happens is that governmental bodies are kind of big and slow, and in order to reach the national level, I think it is vital for the governmental bodies in the first place to communicate what problems are there to the youth, because that is how we begin, right? So if we are able to get these governmental bodies to kind of host some sort of a challenge or like put forth a problem statement to the youth, where the youth can then be engaged to come up with solutions to these problems. It may not be a fully developed system, right? it may be just the demo or prototype, but it is still the beginning where the government can then get on to engage these youth to kind of further develop these solutions into a proper system. And then there is where there is change and impact in terms of the national level. Yeah.
Thank you, Tzu Wei.
Yes, I would like to speak in behalf of our country, which is the Philippines. But before that, I just want to say I would like to thank our org mates, families, relatives that are actually watching in this live stream all over ASEAN. So we have a lot of viewers from our organization. So thank you very much for tuning in. I'm sure you guys are learning a lot from this very amazing crew of people. In terms of our country, we are having a problem with our infrastructure in terms of connectivity. So there is like a study that the Filipinos actually spend the most time in social media, about 10 hours a day minimum. So we're always online, but at the same time, there is only a few parts in the Philippines that have stable connections. So we don't have infrastructure to provide internet access. So how can young people be able to participate? It's very hard to become innovative in these times because you don't have internet, you don't have access much. But what I can say is you can participate in the feedback process of our government. If you see something, they're trying to get surveys, they're trying to get information, they're trying to get a lot of data from young people. I think young people should be able to put their foot forward and say, hey, I'm willing to volunteer to try it out. I'm willing to volunteer to give my information. I'm willing to volunteer to help enhance whatever type of services or product the government is making. At the same time, young people should also be able to support initiatives coming from their own communities. I think the internet is people think about the internet as mass media, but actually the internet is mass, but it's not like mass media that targets a broad market. It's actually big media, but targets a lot of small niches. So young people can actively participate in their small interests, and eventually when they work together, collaborate in their own little communities, they could cascade the effects towards the national level slowly. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Joshua. Yeah, I believe having feedback, from the government and to be involved at the community level for young generations to be part of this national initiative in their respective country. Any other questions from the audience?
Hi, Jaren. Can I also add a bit for the previous question?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so in Indonesia, I think we also have similar problem with the one in Philippines. However, in these difficult times, actually the government is trying to engage more in the digital era. So they are providing a lot of pitching for young people and also for like small enterprises to pitch their ideas on digital platforms. So it would be great for us, for individuals and also groups, youth groups, to just participate in this event or pitching from the government. So this will open the doors for more opportunities and collaboration with the government. Because of course we have to be realistic with the bureaucracy and everything with the policies. However, I think pitching and then competitions from the government will open the doors to collaboration with them.
Thank you. Thanks, Agatha. Great. So we have a question from Navisa. I hope I pronounced the name correctly. How do you see the digitalization affecting jobs for youth?
Can I take that question?
Sure.
All right, great. So something that we've been advocating for a long time at Time Solutions is really changing what traditional modes of work should be. And so what previous generations have really taken for granted is work is having a warm body on a seat 9 to 5. Digitalization will transform that and is transforming that. And COVID-19 is just accelerating what is already happening. And that's having more flexible ways of working, remote working, and access to economies and markets outside of your region, outside of your community, that allows you to be exposed to more opportunities. And so I think that will have a huge impact in terms of how young people are looking for work and finding work. Because as we can see with the economic setbacks with COVID-19, it's going to be harder for some countries to be able to offer work for their young people with the economies contracting. But with our digital tools readily available now, you can actually promote yourself, look for work from across the world. And that's something that we're currently trying to promote here in Brunei, that especially Brunei, with being such a small country, with such a small economy, the best way for us to really look for opportunities is outside of the country. And that's what we're trying to do by training more young people to use tools to work remotely, to really promote themselves and their skills and develop their skills to be able to do that. And granted, this isn't available or isn't possible for all types of work, and it's not available for those with problems with internet connectivity. But I think the fourth industrial revolution is going to completely transform what work means. And so I think that's something that you have to prepare for. And you start by really improving your skills and training in the areas or in the industries that are now emerging. And so a lot of research needs to go into that, a lot more skills training programs in each country. Policies need to change to accommodate that as well. So I would definitely, as an individual, look into what the emerging industries are and what you can do to prepare for that and how you can leverage digital tools to access that. But for governments, you need to start really, really seriously overhauling your curriculum and what training is available for your youth in your countries, because it's already happening and there are a lot of changes that need to be prepared for.
All right, thanks, Ms. Aimee. Okay, because we are short of time, any other questions we have, we could, post it us via our email or social media platforms. We could then reach out to you, or subsequent, be in touch in our newsletter, and we can invite you for subsequent use opinion sessions. Right? So, well, we have, things at the national level. I guess every country will come together twice a year for ASEAN Summit, and at the ACIOA, ASEAN Chief Information Officer Association, we have our annual forum that is happening on the 10th to 11th of September in Hanoi, Vietnam. So, fingers crossed, if all goes well and COVID-19 has then gets better, we can then travel and have our conference in person. So, I would like to have a little bit of airtime to share of our ASEAN Youth chapter. So our goal is to nurture the community of young ICT leaders. ICT stands for Information Communication Technologies. To enable them to leverage on technology to create and lead a smart ASEAN. For us to create world-class impact. So if the fellow panel speakers and audience, if you have state your point that it's important for digitalization and how young people should be involved in this digital transformation and digital future of ASEAN, ACIOA Youth Chapter is definitely a youth chapter you should be part of. So I would like to end off by saying, youth are the front drivers of our global digital transformation. We have to leverage technologies to improve and develop these innovative products. Therefore, we can solve global problems and improve humanity as a whole. Right. So please do follow us on social media. Youth like ourselves, we like to use Instagram, TikTok, etc. A few of these digital trends. You can follow us on Instagram at ASEAN CIOs, or join our Facebook group at facebook.com/group/ACIOA Youth. You can also scan the QR code for easy access. All right, thank you everyone for the time. Hong Sing.
Okay, sorry. Well, thank you very much to all who contributed very actively. And I guess today we have 5 hours, we probably will continue talking. And sincerely, ASEAN CIO is very proud to have all of you. And what I've been hearing and have gathered, the power of young people is the machine of digital transformation. You is the one who is going to live in the future, and who else needs to care more about this whole transformation that's happening right now other than the youth. So youth is ultimately the driving force for future entrepreneurship. More and more youths are getting online, and even a great suggestion of investing in youth that leaders across the world need to pay attention to. And youth are becoming a society of innovators. And in fact, that touched on the subject that this afternoon we have a topic about innovation being the next norm. I invite all of you to join the session. And with digital, young people drive, digital disruption and works with empathy to advance technology. I think it's like after some time in the digital world, we've probably forgotten about who, is the machine or the human or both, or what is, what should be in the forefront, right? Who is smarter? Is machine or is the human, and who creates it, right? So what happens with COVID situation? Future becomes present. I think this is extremely, like a deep reminder. And it is also interesting to learn how different countries are learning and evolving in this COVID crisis, where the youth are seeing the shift and the change. So a great chance for SME to improve business outreach is highly encouraged by the youth. And youth thinks out of the box. Youth can get involved in many ways, whether it is optimizing social media, capitalizing it, using old technology to create entrepreneurship and greater living, or creating tools to help ASEAN for greater, better, different living. And of course, consciously reminding each and everyone to be involved in this whole digital development. So the whole conversation and what I'm hearing from all of you is like you guys have this whole burning spirit for change and driving creativity to turn ideas into reality for the better future and the better society. The list goes on, that how much of information that you guys within that 1.5 hours have shared, and to also have all the other rest of the ASEAN leaders to get to pay attention with all of you. And to close, you guys mentioned about trailblazer, seeing problems differently, emphasizing a lot about empathy and key towards resiliency. The ASEAN Youth Program, are really exciting in a sense of all ASEAN countries are also putting out their youth program. And on the group chat, there's a whole list of offerings where I hope that after this live chat, all of you are still in touch, or those who are not speaking can get in touch with Jaren and also Pakani, or you can write live chat at acioa.com. So today's session has been recorded and will be posted on ASEAN CIO YouTube channel and as well the Facebook page. So due to the demand of topic about innovation, as I mentioned, this afternoon at 2:30 of the Bangkok time, and we will be having this whole conversation on innovation. As innovation is key and innovation is the next norm and imperative mission for long-term strategies towards future-proof business. And in fact, I invite all of you to partake. So we look forward to meet all of you in the next live chat. or even future live chat that you'd like to suggest that ASEAN CIO can consider? Like that, we close the session.
Thank you.